Welcome back to Professing Christians. This is Lisa, and today I have an important announcement. I realize I haven't been on here for a while, but this announcement, which is an update to the channel, I feel is very, very important to the future of professing Christians in the world today. Since May of 2022, I've been recording my blog posts from the Professing Christians WordPress blog here for two reasons. First, to read them out loud, checking for errors, and second, to help spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, with an emphasis on what the scriptures might have to say about the times we are living in today. If any of my listeners are readers of the blog, you will have noticed that changes to the slant, shall we say, of the blog have taken place. Here I will read a recent post from my blog, which should explain a lot. It's titled, "Why Have I Changed My View on Eschatology?" Here goes. Over the last 5 years or so, I have gone through many layers in belief of where we are on God's timeline. As I've written before, the Lord started revealing things regarding tribulation, the Antichrist, and Jesus' second coming. I, like so many others, believed the narrative that 1. The rapture was imminent, 2. The Great Tribulation was about to start, and 3. The Antichrist was about to implement the mark of the beast. The evangelical circles are rife with all of this, with all the prophecies to go along with it. What's so puzzling is that the Lord did not step in then to tell me any different. Why not? I believe He kept me there to do my part in the preaching of repentance, as that has always been my message. We are going to go through times of tribulation. The Antichrist spirit is alive and well. Lately, however, he has led me on to the probability that we are, in fact, in Satan's little season of Revelation 20. Let me say a few words about that before anyone flies off the handle. That's usually the reaction. There is quite a bit of real-life evidence that we are, in fact, in the age that is post-apocalypse. More importantly, Jesus' own words tell us that it is not a future generation that would witness the apocalypse, but it was the first century generation that His words were directed to. It was to the people right in front of Him. I made 2 short videos on this that you'll find on my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is at Professing Christians. Please go check those out and you'll see a lot more of what I'm referring to. I'll write more on this later, but I think it's important to explain my abrupt shift in eschatology. I don't expect my readers to jump ship. All I ask for is an open mind. Something to note, Satan's little season is a time of great deception. Does the world today fit that description? Let's just say I started seeing the world a little different, and the evangelical voices were becoming a little less believable. Jesus said to His disciples, to everyone in that generation in front of Him, that He was coming soon. Well, why hasn't He come yet? I asked myself. That was when I believe the Lord started showing me all the evidences of a world after a concealed millennial reign. Okay, I'm going to interject here. In the post I say I'll get into more of that later, but there is a bit of an explanation. First, I want to talk about the Lord started showing me the evidences of a world after a concealed millennial reign, and this began with, and I put this in the other podcast, which please listen to that. There's a lot more information in there. He started showing me through a lot of other YouTubers. In my feed, out of nowhere, would pop up these things about orphan trains and insane asylums and mud floods and all of the things in the 1700s, 1800s, world fairs, the great cities in the world on fire, and all of the evidence that was tried to be burned down and destroyed. This is all related to the Dark Ages and the Byzantine Empire. So keep all of those things in mind. It's very important. Within all of that, we will find our evidence. We will find our physical evidence. Okay. One thing that excites me about all of this is that more and more people are starting to see this. And that tells me this little season just may be coming to a close. What's after the little season? It's in Revelation 20, the final battle of Gog and Magog. So that's the end of the recent post. Let me go on with what I wanted to say for today before I close out possibly the channel entirely. It will go silent. I'm not sure if I'll revive it, but it's been silent for a while, but it will go back to being silent as we transition over. What some of you may not know is that I have a second podcast titled The Great Tribulation, which was just myself recording thoughts on the book of Revelation. I didn't really expect it to go anywhere, and I just recorded a few episodes, and I got a lot more listeners than I was getting on this Professing Christians channel. So this is why what I've decided to do now is to combine these two podcasts into one, because it fits more into the conviction I now feel, which is that we are, in fact, in Satan's little season. I am convinced of it. I realize this is not a popular theology or view of the world today. But the Lord has shown me that while looking into and studying all of the things I've done in the 40 years of being a Christian and writing about them over the last 5 years on the blog and recording them here, it's okay to come to new realizations of the truth. That's called revelation. Revelation opens up and more is revealed. What I want to add is that we get a foundation. We start with our childhood religious upbringing. Mine was Catholic. Then we go into stronger things. I belong to Church of Christ, and then Lutheran, and then Pentecostal, and then, I wanted to learn more and more and more, and always asking the Lord for more wisdom. This is what is called revelation. Revelation in the Bible is a book that John was given through an angel from Jesus Christ. And throughout that book, he's telling John, this is going to happen soon. It's going to happen soon. And we know that he insinuated that John would be alive to see his return. John is not 2,000 years old living on Patmos. No. Like, was it Methuselah was the guy who lived the longest? So, yeah, John is not 2,000 some years old. Jesus came back when he told them he was going to come back. They waited and watched for him. They were beheaded. They were lit up like candles for Nero. They did not all die out thinking Jesus lied. That's what the narrative wants us to believe. He did come back, and his reign is hidden in the Dark Ages history, in the Byzantine era, in the Renaissance, in the Sistine Chapel painted on the ceiling. What we've been told is great deception, and I think we're all starting to come to the realization that we are living in a time of great deception, and the deception is great. So that's what I want to focus on in this season of Great Deception. Thank you for your patronage in the past. I hope you'll follow along with me and many others as the blinders are coming off and we await the return of our King, Jesus Christ, for the final war. Thank you.